for joining us for this quasi impromptu live stream. This is going to be kind of a different live stream because right now we are simultaneously broadcasting to this channel and The Feminine Truth. Guys, be sure to go over and subscribe to The Feminine Truth on YouTube. Just look up The Feminine Truth. Also follow her on Instagram. So we're streaming here and The Feminine Truth at the same time. The miracle of modern technology. Today, we are going to discuss, this is going to be sort of a round-robin discussion. Tallulah is going to take the lead for the most part in asking questions, but this is going to be a round-robin discussion on what our requirements are from our significant other in order to keep and maintain a relationship. And so with that, I will turn it over to Tallulah.
Sure. So thank you for coming on the show.
Of course. Absolutely.
And yeah, so I wanted to talk about relationship requirements. And I think you guys embody that really well. You guys are doing some great stuff on your channel about the requirements from the opposite sex. You guys embody. Okay, I'm echoing.
No, that's cool. I took care of it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Donovan, like, I wondered what keeps you attracted to Devon and what initially attracted you to Devon and what requirements tied into that you had set before you even like met her.
Yeah, boobs, and more boobs. Listen, I mean, if I'm being honest, that's really what it comes down to. When it comes to a man being attracted to a woman, the first thing that and this goes both ways, more so for men than women. A man can look at a woman and instantly know if he is sexually attracted to her. I mean, when we look at her, we either want to have relations with her or we do not. And so that's the first thing. So the first time I saw Devon, I knew that I was sexually attracted to her. And the thing about Dev, and anybody who follows us on Instagram or anything like that, Devon's the total package. She has an hourglass figure. She has large, perky breasts, and she has an unbelievably shapely hindquarters to keep it clean for YouTube. And so we have a lot of guys who are breast men. Some men are ass men. I am a yes man. She's got to have all of that. That's what initially attracted me to her. What really separated her from other women I was seeing at the time was the sheer effort she was putting in. If I were to leave town, she would send me food in whatever town I was in, whether I was in dude, I mean, I could be in Mexico, San Diego, it did not matter. She was always sending me food. I remember I was visiting my family for Thanksgiving, and this was after you took me to Hawaii, and she sends me a honey baked ham. Like she sent me Omaha steak. She used to make stuff at home and send it to me. She used to make Chex Mix for me. I remember I remember she made me lasagna that I could travel with.
Magic cookie bars.
Oh my God, dude, the magic cookie bars. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Devon did her level best to fatten your boy up. I was convinced that she was probably a witch trying to fatten me up. But all jokes aside, what really separated Devon from all of the other girls I was seeing was the effort she put in. She made damn sure that I knew that I was the only guy she was seeing. This is where a lot of women go wrong. They think, why isn't he committing to me? Well, the reason he isn't committing to you is because he understands he is not getting your 100% best. Yeah, sure, when you see him, you sleep with him, you might do nice things for him, but men know, especially men with options, men with options and experience, we know when we are a woman's plan A. There's a there's not much difference between a plan B, plan C, plan D, but there is a precipitous drop between plan A energy and plan B energy. And with Devon, there was never any doubt that I was listen, if she was sleeping with other dudes, I certainly wouldn't have known it. I don't know when she would have had the time to, because she was up my ass 24/7 all the time. So if she was sleeping with other guys, I wouldn't know. But the bottom line is that she made it very clear to me that I was the only guy that she was seeing at that point in time, and that's what gained and kept my attraction to her.
Right, interesting.
Yes.
So, Devon, what about you? What initially attracted you to Donovan, and what keeps you attracted to Donovan?
I think what initially attracted me to Donovan was his talent and his sense of humor. Just from reading the articles that he was infamous for, many, many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When I read them, I was shocked. I was hysterically laughing, and I was like, this is actually really true. So right away, I was attracted to his confidence. And when I started talking to him, I realized this isn't a persona, this is who he is. And it was very intriguing to me. So the more I got to know him, I understood this guy he's got his ducks in a row. He understands what's important to him. He's got a plan. He has discipline. He works out every day. He has his own agenda. He has his own plan. He's just doing what he does. And I was just happy to have his attention and kind of be along for the ride. So that was one of the main things. The discipline and the self-motivation was also very attractive to me. So what you say often, forward-moving energy, that was really, really important to me. When we first started talking, it was online initially, and I didn't even know what he looked like. So I was already attracted to him well before we got together and met face to face. So it was kind of like I was already intrigued, I guess I would say. Mm-hmm. So I, with women, it is a lot more mental. With men, it's more physical. So I don't know. There's a big difference there.
Real quick, this is actually quite funny. Devin must have met someone who is similar to me, because she said that we were talking online. Sweetheart, we lived in the same city, so I think
I met you on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought I had you. I gotcha. Maybe that was the other Donovan. Yeah, we were. So yeah, you found me on Twitter. I think we talked for a week before we actually met face to face. Okay. Yeah. All right. I thought I caught you. I thought I caught you in the act on that one. To be like, gotcha. Good answer. Good answer. Man, I don't miss a damn thing, do I?
You don't.
No, sir. Woo. I remember that's what you told your dad, is that you can't get away with anything because of my...
no, because he remembers everything.
Literally everything. Yes, I was blessed with a very good memory. That is a blessing and a curse.
Devin, before you met Donovan, did you have requirements set in your mind about what kind of man you would want to end up with?
Ooh, 666 maybe?
What?
666?
No, I didn't have requirements what is common.
I'm sorry,
to hear. I knew what I liked. I didn't really know what I needed. So Donovan kind of encapsulated all of that. It was, hey, here's someone who can provide me living by example and kind of setting the tone of the relationship. I knew I didn't want to push over a guy who was just what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
That's not me.
It was just no, thank you. And also because I have a really strong father who's always been the center of the party. He's always the one putting things together, and he's a man's man kind of guy. And I knew that I admired that in men. So to have those qualities was something that I looked for. Now, as far as height, weight, of course you gotta look good.
666.
Why do you keep saying that?
6 feet tall, 6 figures, and a 6 foot schlong. Or actually, it's 6 inches, but I say 6 feet.
Well, 6 years ago when we met, that wasn't a thing. Oh boy,
6. Yeah. Wait, 6 years when we met, that wasn't a thing.
It wasn't really
It wasn't a listen, guys. And it's very cute of Dev, but every woman. See, this is the thing, and I think this is the Fresh and Fit effect. Fresh and Fit have done such a great job in not necessarily exposing, but dissecting the requirements of women. And I think one thing that gets lost in translation with Myron and Fresh, and I've actually had conversations with them about this, is that I think a lot of times, and there's usually not time because they've always got like 6-7 bitches on the panel, but it's okay for women to have these requirements. We all, like, attraction is not a choice. Shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. You are attracted to who and what you are attracted to. Just because someone says, well, okay, she wants a 666 guy, that's not a sin. Guys, we want 36, 24, 36, or whatever. We want women who meet certain physical metrics, and now we get shamed for it. But we don't care. But women these days, their standards are so unrealistic that women are afraid to talk about the very real standards they have, whether they realize it or not. Where Devin is sort of underselling herself is Devin works very, very hard to deserve what she gets from me. And so, but her humility is showing. She's like, I don't really want to say, hey man, like it's all good. Devin deserves what she gets from me because she earns it. But most of these hoes out here are they don't deserve any of these 666 guys. Maybe like a 555 guy.
Dad, would you say that, like, when Donovan says about you, like, earning to have the guy that you wanted, to have Donovan around, would you say that keeps you in a better state of, like, well-being in general? As, like, the reason I'm asking this is I was speaking to someone about this the other day, and sometimes being with a guy that you generally love, respect, adore, it keeps, for me anyway, and I sort of see the same with you, it keeps you in a place where you are constantly bettering yourself, whether that be eating habits, fitness, learning new things, and being more open to new, like, things to go and see, opportunities. Would you say that Donovan brings that in? And, like, if you weren't together, would you be doing all those things as hard as you do now?
Hell no.
See, I don't think I ever stepped foot in a gym by myself or on my own before I met Donovan. He's the one who found me my first personal trainer. He's the one who pays my personal trainer now to come and work with me 5 days a week.
Wow.
His expectations of himself rub off on the people that are close to him. So you can even see it with the people like that are our loyal listeners and followers and stuff like that. Like, motivated people want to be around motivated people. Now, I grew up with the mindset that, like, nothing good comes easy. You got to work for everything in your life that's worth having. And if you expect life just to give you stuff, you're going to just get a load of garbage.
That's right.
So the mindset to me, it was really attractive. I used to listen to, motivational podcasts. I would listen to Rogan and MMA fighters, or I would listen to
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, that was a big one. Because I liked that energy. That, like, okay, what's next? How do I better take care of myself? How do I better my life? How do I better my situation? And it's pretty something that's pretty much not found in the female community. Let's just be honest. Like, if we're talking about bettering ourselves, where women talk about bettering their situation in life, or upgrading their man, or upgrading their business, quote
manifesting.
Unquote. Yes, and I've worked for everything that I've gotten in my life, and Donovan is no exception to that. Now, did he say, "Hey, if you don't start working out, we can't be together"? Absolutely. Is he gonna? And that was something that, hey, gee, am I gonna have a problem with that? Because if I start working out, I might look better, I might feel better, I might be more healthy, and I might have all of these positive things happen to me. Wow, this is such a terrible thing. So me choosing a person who ups the ante in expectations makes me a better person. So why not? Of course, I am always going to, as a woman, I don't know if all women are like this, but I will default to just kind of like a stagnation where, you just kind of like, okay, I'll do this tomorrow and I'll do that Thursday, and then I don't know when I'll do that, but I know it needs to get done. And, there's really no plan for things. It's just, So
Yeah.
with my life with Donovan, like even like, you know, not only is the house cleaner, the food is cleaner, you know, everything about our lives has gotten better since we've gotten together. And yes, you know, our relationship is hard. It can be at times. It is work. He is a lot of personality to handle on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah, man, I'm not easy.
But, you know, it's funny because my dad said once that, you know, that like relationships are a lot of work and you better love your work. And I love Donovan, so it's worth it to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you should say all of that, especially about like how much it like betters you as a person and how much better you seem to feel being around that forward moving energy that will just take you along with him.
Yeah.
And the only way is up.
And I'll tell you this, to add to what she was saying about Prakar Gunwant on my, yes, this is actually live. This is happening right now. For when Dev said that it is in a woman's default to remain stagnant, I think that's I think maybe a better phrase for that is that, especially today, especially modern women are rewarded for not even maintaining status quo. And when you are overweight and not sexually temperate, and you just say and do what you want to do, you're a potty mouth, you're, you know, out all the time, but the world continues to reward you for these behaviors, then why are we surprised that most modern women are on autopilot with regards to stagnation? The world rewards women for just existing, and as such, there's really no motivation to go out and actually improve themselves. You understand what I mean? Why improve yourself if you're living a great life already? I know. Listen, I'm a man. Well, I don't know. I don't think that I could do that just because I'm a man. But Sterling Cooper, for example, he is not the first male adult film star I've ever been friends with. I knew a couple of guys in Vegas. Sterling is the exception to the rule. And I think Sterling would tell you this as well. Here's what I mean. Most male adult film stars, actors, are not very motivated at all. And the reason why they're not motivated is because they get to have sex with beautiful women for a living. You understand what I mean? For most guys, that's enough. Most guys dress and work and they do everything for the validation of women. That's not a terrible thing, but what happens is you end up stagnating. So these male adult film stars are the equivalent of modern women in that they get rewarded with sleeping with beautiful women for just existing and having an above average looking appendage. Sterling is different in that he is always looking to improve. He's got hundreds of girls that he can call or text at a moment's notice. Hey, let's make content, let's hook up, blah, 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 blah. But he has not allowed that to take off the edge. Yeah. This doesn't mean that if you're a man and you're an adult film actor, that makes you a bad person. Because again, it's the human condition that if you are getting whatever it is that you want, there's no real reason to continue to improve. But this is why the world has a hierarchy. And the more money I make, the more money I want to make. My highest earning year was in 2020. I'm trying to obliterate that. Like it was unbelievable. But I thought that, okay, I think we made over $500,000 back in 2020. And I was like, and I thought that if I ever made that amount of money in 1 year, I'd be like, okay, I can rest on my laurels. No, in 2021, I was trying to make double that. I didn't necessarily double. I could have doubled that if not for the CME, but I knew I was going to take a loss there. But there are certain type of men who allow success to civilize them. And this doesn't make me special because there are many other men like me, but you're dealing with a man in demand, an exceptional individual if success motivates you to be more successful. You understand what I mean? And I think that's what separates me from it doesn't really, because all the people I only associate with people who are hyper driven. Myron Gaines, Fresh Prince CEO, Sterling Cooper, Andrew Tate, all those guys. We're always looking for more. Success does not take away our edge. But women are not designed this way. This is why women need strong male leadership. Devin looks better now than she has. You're more attractive now than you were 10 years ago.
Thank you.
Is she more attractive now than she was back when she was 26 rather than 46? Well, of course not. But I'll tell you what, if I had not stepped in, Devin would be overweight, and of that I am certain. And if she's overweight, then I'm not going to have anything to do with her. This is why women need strong leaders, because without a strong leader, you're both going to stagnate. And that's why Dev does what she does.
So what I'm hearing is the more that really you're chasing the success, the more like Devon wants to come along for that, right? So it's almost like the guy chases success and the women come.
I wouldn't call it like going along for the ride. I want to be a part of the success too. I want to be there to support in any way that I can along the way. Luckily for me, I happen to have a skill set that directly contributes to his business efforts and the success of his business. So, on the technical end of things, I'm very talented and experienced with that, so that's my strong suit, and I love to help out. Now, there are times where our schedules do change, and I'm not as busy as I was, say, 2 years ago or things like that, and I'll come in the studio like I did on Tuesday and cry and say I don't feel like I'm doing enough.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
And this is part of, this is interesting. MLD is on Saucecast today. I think that was still Tuesday. Shout out to MLD. I was actually going to discuss this on a future podcast, but I'll just go ahead and do it now. And Dev probably doesn't realize this, but what she just described happens right around the middle of every month. This is her cycle. Right around the middle of the month is when she is starting her luteal phase. This is moving right into ovulation, and because of that, she gets very hormonal. She gets very emotional. So when she came in on Tuesday, I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, okay, I was ready for this. I expected this. This doesn't mean that I kowtow and try to no. I listened to what she had to say. I understood what was happening, and I handled the situation. But this actually comes with paying attention and understanding that yes, even though women can add to your life, guess what? They've got the things that come along with them as well.
Mm-hmm. I will say, Dev, the virtual CME website that you did was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool.
It was amazing. It was like, I wish it could have been more out there to everyone in the public to see, because it was just a beautiful design. It was easy to navigate. There was a community within that as well for all the people like myself that can come. There was community there, and loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a comment. In my chat by Back Zud said, had a girl over last night, intentionally left dishes in the sink with fresh rubber gloves sitting out. She didn't even attempt to clean while she was there. Won't be seeing her again. That's the wrong way to do it. If you've been seeing her for a few months. He said, had a girl over last night. If you've been seeing her for a few months, then I guess that could be grounds for dismissal. But you can't expect a woman to want to clean your dishes the very first night she's at your place, right? I mean, it's because at this point, I mean, don't get me wrong. She definitely needs to have domestic skills. But if that really was a date, women are not trying to work on a date. I mean, and who knows? Maybe this guy's a millionaire. Maybe this guy is a millionaire. But I think that's too much too soon. If that's the first time that you had an interaction with her, I would probably wait for maybe the third or fourth date. I've got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yes, or if you have her over, you could cook dinner together and then see if she puts in an effort to help clean up. That's makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, and I also think as well that the first time, if you're going around to a guy's house for the first time, you wouldn't want to see those dirty dishes there, right? That will kind of look bad. Especially
if you don't know the type of guy that you're dealing with. So there are guys out there like Coach EO, who used to be on the 6 with Donovan, who is very particular about every little thing, either in his home or the way things are done, or, so if you walked into his house and started doing stuff, unloading the dishwasher or whatever, he would probably freak out and be like, that doesn't go there, and cause him more stress. So unless you know like what someone's established routine is, or what's expected of you, it's and you don't expect a woman to come over for a date and then go check your dryer to see if there's clothes that need to be folded, or to go in your bathroom and it comes out and it's sparkling clean. I mean, yeah, if there's obviously some things that need to be picked up, you straighten up after yourself. You be a good guest. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. But and that's honestly, like, if you have a woman who comes over and like leaves like pieces of toilet paper all over the floor, and it's just a terrible guest, leaves a mess, leaving water rings on the coffee table and things like that, like, okay, this girl has like no situational awareness. She, either she's a bad guest, put it that way. And if she's a bad guest, she's going to be a bad guest when you take her over to your friend's house or to your work event or whatever, and she's going to represent you badly. So if anything, like those are the types of things that I would look at if she came over for a date, more than is she going to clean up the mess that's already there that I left for her to give her a test,
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know about you, but just in general, like if you guys have guests around, there is nothing worse than you will serve up in America coffee, but we serve tea here, and have tea with friends, and then they're going to leave, and then someone doesn't say, oh, I'll just put this in the sink, and everything's just left there.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's so, I don't know, it's just, maybe my mum always just taught me, go and put it in the sink, go and wash it up or whatever, but it's just rude.
Yes,
it's
it
rude.
is.
It doesn't matter like whether it's a date, or it's worse if it's a date, but even if it's just a guest or a friend or something and they do that, no, not okay.
So if a girl has a man over to her place, and her place is perfectly clean, and the man has dinner over, leaves his dishes on the counter, she's not going to think, oh my God, this guy's a terrible guest. It's different. Like, the gender roles are very different. I think, like, if the guy says, hey, pick it up, can I take your plates to the kitchen or something like that? Yes, that's great and all, but it's not a requirement. And I think that women do get confused when they think, okay, well, if this is expected of me, I expect this of him. And then once you get into that tit for tat, you end up in a 50-50 relationship where you both are divorced and unhappy in 5 years. So I think it's really important for women to understand that the expectations that men have of you is very different from the ones you have of them. So don't judge your own actions and behavior based on how you would judge his. And that's something that's important when you're like considering someone for a relationship. Do I mind picking up after Donovan? Like, every time he goes into a room, there's evidence of it. No, I don't. At first I did. At first I was like, do you mind, not doing that? And he'd be like, whoa. We're not roommates. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I understand. Especially since, he pulled me off of full-time work. And so now when I'm not busy doing things for his business or things that, he's asked me to do, then I look and I go, okay, I've got downtime. What can I do? Yesterday I reorganized all his clothes. Things got kind of messy as you put stuff away, mixed up. So you go in and just redo all of that. Maybe one day you just do something like, I'm going to rearrange the pantry. I'm going to clean out the silverware drawer or whatever. And you find these small tasks to do that don't really seem big, like they're not a big deal, but they add up over time. Next thing you know, like you're in a home, the little details are being taken care of. He doesn't have to ask you, he doesn't have to tell you, he doesn't have to do any of those things. You're doing it because you're showing your appreciation for all that he does for you. And these little things do add up. And then next thing you know, you have a man who at the end of the day is relaxed, stressed. There's no stress, there's no tension, there's no arguments, and you're enjoying each other's company. And that's what a relationship is all about. You do the work, you enjoy the rewards. A lot of people do work and think that the reward is the reward for their work. No, you do the work and enjoy the rewards together. It's not a give and take. It's I believe good relationships, it's like, how do you say? It's not 50-50, you're both giving 100%. type of thing, and you're responsible for what you're lacking in the effort. So, I don't know.
No, I couldn't put it better myself. I think you've said it exactly how it is, and it's just staying useful as well. And
Yeah.
you know, with competition, it's competition anxiety. It's keeping yourself useful to that man, and there'd be a space if you weren't there. You know, they'd notice a gap if you weren't there.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem these days is that women think I am just enough who I am, because that's all we ever get told, especially these days. I mean, everything you see on the internet, I'm enough, just how we are. Girl, you're enough. You don't need this. But actually, reality is it's not true, especially if you're wanting to be with someone who is of good value and high value.
I equate it a lot to especially when you first start working, your work ethic will not only get you the job, it'll keep you the job, right? So my goal whenever I started working somewhere was to become the indispensable employee, become the key employee, become the one who can do all of the jobs, become the one who you never have to worry about if you're going to get fired, being indispensable and is actually like, it's too, like, thinking like, okay, it's too expensive to replace me. Now, if Donovan wanted to start over with a younger model, let's just say 22-year-old, beautiful, big busty Latina, okay?
Talking about Chrissy?
Maybe.
She ain't 22 anymore.
Nah.
She's 28 with a kid. Ha!
Dodge
that bullet.
Yeah, but let's just say, there's plenty of women out there who have, are more physically attractive than I am, or beautiful, or things like that. But would you really want to start over the courting process, getting to know someone all over again, and then, teaching her my habits? How do I like my things put away? How do I like this? How do I like that? Like having to start over and all that was like, ugh. So my goal is to be the best girlfriend that I can be, but also like to be indispensable, but not to the point where he's only with me because it would be a pain in the butt to replace me. It would be more, he has no need to look elsewhere.
That is a very, very good point. When you're dealing with high functioning men, one thing that women have got to understand about high functioning men is that our time is extremely valuable to us. There are too many women who waste time cultivating things that he can get elsewhere, right? And I'll tell you, I'll put it to you like this. I forgot who I heard this from, but it might have been from one of our callers when we were doing the 6. But anything that we can outsource. Men now have the ability to outsource anything we need from modern women. If we want sex, we can hire a sex worker. If we want our house clean, we can hire a maid. If we want our meals cooked, we can hire a personal chef. Now, clearly, not everybody has the financial means to be able to do all that, and which of course puts you in another financial echelon. But the bottom line is that you don't have to be rich to outsource all of these needs that the average rank and file woman could do that. But there's no amount of money a woman can pay to get a man to retire her. This is why they're now in the process of creating sex robots, right? Because men, we're simple creatures. But there's no such thing as a sex robot for women, because women need so much more from men other than just them being attractive. And so when it comes down to making a woman, nobody is indispensable. No man or woman is indispensable. But you want to make yourself as indispensable as humanly possible. You have to make yourself, the harder you make it, the harder you make yourself to replace, the higher the likelihood that he is going to stay with you. Because just like Dev said, I could outsource everything that she does for me on the back end. It would cost me a hell of a lot of money, and I get to have sex with her too. So if we're doing the fiscal math here, for now it just doesn't make any sense for me to go out and I could go out and date a woman half Devin's age, but now I gotta find a web developer, I gotta find someone who understands the business. All of that is, to me, that's not worth starting all over with a woman. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't, but at this point it is highly, highly unlikely.
I was just thinking how actually things are for most people out there. And guys, most 80% of guys are with women who don't do any of these things that Devon does. Doesn't cook, doesn't clean, doesn't try and make your life easier for you.
No.
And they're paying for people to do this in their apartments or their homes as well, and also dealing with nagging and
oh my God,
girls' nights out and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And women are also dealing with guys that aren't forward moving, which is unfortunately the way of the world. It seems to be these guys are not forward moving energies anymore. They're very, very stagnant. And it's quite sad.
Well, I would understand that a lot of guys are like that because they've just been routinely emasculated by not only their wives, girlfriends, but society in general.
Yep.
Guys are told that if they're not the 3 6s, then they ain't worth anything, and it's the same kind of mindset that girls say, oh, if I'm not a 10, why bother trying? We all work with what we got. I'm not the prettiest girl. I have I have my own deficits and things, but you build on your strengths. And what Donovan always used to say was, women are attracted to a man who's at A+ at one thing rather than a B- at everything.
That's right.
We set ourselves apart by building on the qualities that we enjoy, that we're good at, that we have talents for, and by building on that, you build your confidence, you build yourself up, and then the gravity of that will pull other people along with you. Excuse me.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, you have the gravity of Jupiter.
I have the gravity of Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is this, man. What it really comes down to, the reason why modern women don't put in the effort that's necessary is because they don't realize that they're the majority, right? The reason Devon works as hard as she does to keep me around is because she knows that there are a shit more load. There are many, many more Devons than there are Donovans, and so I'm the more valuable commodity, and because of that, it's on her to make sure that she can keep the commodity around. Does this mean that I get to slack off and not be as exceptional as I am? Well, no, because as soon as I start doing that, I now take myself out of the top echelon of men.
Not to mention, when that happens, that rubs off on me.
There
My
you go.
performance goes down.
There you go.
And then next thing you know, we're dragging each other
There you go.
down a bad path. So that'll ruin the romance really quick.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Yeah, and there's some women though that just won't go there. Like, as you guys know, my channel is about women that are with the top, I'd say 5% of men, not top 20%. These guys are so rare, high value, true high value men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of, I don't know if you get this with some of your friends, Devon, but they just won't go there. They could have a high value man around and then have a standard guy around, and they actually sometimes do pick the standard guy because they say, I don't want to deal with having so much effort on my plate.
Yes.
I don't want to deal that. No, the usual thing is I don't want to deal with any crap. And that basically means I don't want to deal with leveling myself up and having to work hard to keep this guy. I would rather have it easy and just be like not attracted to a guy. But it always ends in the end of it.
It's true.
But I notice this a lot now, like women can't understand this stuff. It's bizarre because go back to the 50s and this is all women wanted. They wanted the top guy they could get. They wanted a good life for themselves. They made themselves good to be with him and everything worked. But now women are just choosing to be, I'll get my attention from Instagram or social media. And that's as far as it's going to go. They don't want to work on these things, even though they desire the high value guy. Sometimes they choose not to be with him. It's crazy. I don't understand.
Yeah, there have been times where I've questioned myself, and been like, is this really worth it? Like, I don't, there are days where you just don't feel like playing the part. Like, let's be honest.
Sure.
Like, There are days, hell, I work out 5 days a week. I hate working out. I can't stand it. Love my trainer. Hate working out. Still not used to it. It's been like 3 years.
But what do you hate worse?
What do I hate worse? Being alone.
There you go.
You know what else I hate? I hated drinking too much,
Yeah.
Like there's things in my life that were freaking terrible before I had the structure that I have, because not only am I putting in the work, he makes it clear. I have these expectations. You can meet them or we can go our separate ways.
That's it.
And it's not a threat. It's not an ultimatum. This is what this guy's program is. I'm either in or I'm out. So pick a lane, because, and I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. If I say, you know what, Donovan, I can't do it anymore. Like, it's just too much. It's too much work. I'm not getting enough in return. So I think it's time we split. Then we split. Like, that's just the way life goes.
That's right.
However, my life keeps improving. So why would I go anywhere? Like if it comes a time where we're both, not having any benefit of being together, then it's a mutual parting of ways. However, if his life is getting better and my life is getting better, then we're in a great relationship, and let's keep going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think what it really comes down to is it has to be worth putting in the effort for. And Devin said it best. Anything worth having is going to be difficult to attain and retain. I think a lot of women choose average rank and file men is because women want the high value man without having to put in the high value effort. They want to be able to put in the mid-level effort but still get the high value man. It doesn't work that way, and the proof is all around us. Another reason that dating is essentially a shit show now is because the sexual marketplace has been deregulated and globalized. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Women and men now have access to literally anyone they want in the world. It doesn't matter if you're from Iowa and she's from Estonia. If you guys meet somehow on Instagram or YouTube, whatever the case may be, you can fly her out, she can fly you out, whatever it is. What this has created is women thinking that, oh my God, there's high value men everywhere. We have the whole world to choose from. They are correct, but it's the same ratio in your city, your state, your country, your continent, the globe. The ratio in terms of the ratio between women and the men that women actually want is grossly askew. It's grossly askew. There are more women than men. The disparity isn't that wide, but the disparity is there. The problem is most women are not attracted to most men, and that is because of the globalized sexual marketplace.
Yeah, that.
When you guys, because you guys met through Twitter, did you guys live far from each other? We both lived in Reno. That's why I was like, oh, this chick is in Reno along with me. That's a little bit weird. You know, that goes.
And I was an Eagles fan too.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. I don't know why. Like, she's from Florida, and I was like, how are you an Eagles fan? And it's pretty much because the Dolphins. Because your stepdad's originally from Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so he likes the Browns
and the Dolphins.
He likes the Browns and the Dolphins, and they both. Well, back then they were both trash. This year, I don't know. Deshaun Watson just got his 11 games. But yeah, the fact that she liked the Eagles, I was like, why does she like the Eagles? The first thing that came to my mind, okay, so she's been alpha widowed by an Eagles fan. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so the guy that alpha widowed her was an Eagles fan. Well, it turns out that's true, because when and if we decide to go our separate ways, she will essentially have been alpha widowed by an Eagles fan.
Can't argue with that. Okay. So I wanted to talk about a relationship requirement that not a lot of women voice.
Let's do it.
And maybe this is I don't know if women will agree with this, because you know how girls
Stop right there, Devin. Hold that thought. Raven King says, I wish you guys can let God have the glory, because if you go broke, it won't be long for reality to set in and all is lost. Raven King, get the fuck out of here, man. God ain't got nothing to do with this relationship here. Like, you religious zealots, stay the fuck out of my chat. I'm not giving anybody any kind of glory. And if that damns me to hell, then that damns me to hell. Get the hell out of here with this nonsense. Well, you don't have to delete the comment. Get the hell out of here with this nonsense. Give God the glory. Shut the fuck up, man. I can't stand those dudes. Fuck out of here. Oh, okay, please. Continue. Unbelievable. Give God the glory. Shut the fuck up. Fuck out of here.
So, as Donovan calls it, it's the slut stud conundrum, right?
Ah, yes.
So, men are not attracted to women who don't show sexual temperance. See?
That's
temperance,
right. Hey!
And just basically, because for women, sexual attention is very cheap. It's easy to get. Men, like he said, men will have sex with most women. Most women won't have sex with most men. So girls call it a double standard. But the thing is that what woman wants to get with a sexually inexperienced man, for one? What woman wants to have more sexual experience than the man that she's committed to?
Oops.
I think that what the conversation isn't brought up enough, because I think what happens is if the girl has more sexual experience than her partner does, the partner will start to feel by nature emasculated. He will start to feel like, oh, well, she has more experience than I do. What am I missing? How come my wife has been with blah 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 or done this and that? I've never done this and that. So it does cause like a rift in a relationship, whether women actually think about it like up front or really understand
Stop right
why.
there. Devin's wrong. The reason why men don't want their women to have more sexual experience than them is because we ain't trying to get with hoes. It ain't got nothing to do with, well, she's tried this, but I haven't tried it. No. It's she tried this, so she's a hoe. It's not like, my girlfriend or my wife, she had a threesome, but I haven't had a threesome. I'm feeling some type. No, he's not feeling some type of way because he hasn't had one. He's feeling some type of way because his girl had two dicks in her at the same time, and he wasn't one of them. Unbelievable. Dev, what are we doing? Hey.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that one up.
Oh my God, unbelievable. That's cute of you to say, and I can understand where you're coming from, but it ain't got nothing to do with, she's tried things I've, no. We ain't trying to be with hoes. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. And see, this is another thing. This is something else that men have to learn to do. You gotta let your woman know when she's dead. Listen, I love Devin to the moon and back, but she was wrong, and I had to let her know she was wrong.
Okay, well, I guess my point was that you want to make sure that you guys are sexually compatible.
Yeah, sexually compatible just means that you like having sex with each other. That's what it comes down to. But as far as sexual experiences is concerned, the more sexually experienced a woman is, the harder it is to please her in bed. And it's the same thing with her having dated rappers or athletes. She's used to a certain level of man. So when a regular guy, comes along, you think, am I even enough for her? That's why if you were to ever found out that your girl has a notch count of 75, you already know that one of those 75 dudes has a much bigger and better you-know-what than you do. That's why we look for women with lower body counts. That's why.
Wow.
Tallulah's like, all right. Okay, you put it that way.
I think like sexually, it depends on the guy, right?
Yeah.
So I think a woman's going to get more enjoyment from a guy that she generally respects more than a guy that she doesn't. And that those guys could do exactly the same in bed.
Yep.
But it's more the emotion for a woman.
Yes.
They could do exactly the same thing. It could be exactly the same physical feeling, but it's not going to connect to that core emotional side of her in the same way at all. And that's what women desire sexually more than anything physically. It's
Absolutely.
completely different to men. Like the whole
Absolutely.
thing you were talking about with robots, like that's gross.
Could you imagine cleaning that thing?
Oh God! Oh,
It's just
oh,
wild.
okay. Oh boy. Oh, ooh.
Does he hire someone to clean it? Do you stick a hose in her mouth?
Oh.
That's all I can think about when I think of this.
I've never thought about that. Like these dudes who have relationships with sex dolls, like how does the sanitary end of that?
Oh my god.
I mean,
No, let's
yeah.
move on.
Eesh.
Move
Oh
on.
boy. All right. Maybe there's like a release. I don't know.
Oh my god.
All right, we got to empty her.
It's like a vacuum canister. You just like empty it out.
Jesus Christ! Oh, that's so gross. Listen, ladies. If you don't want this to happen, you gotta please your men. Oh my God! But you want to know something? As gross as that is, this is how far women have fallen. We got dudes out here who are actually more willing to hit the release valve, so to speak, than to actually deal with a woman. Sad times we live in.
Wow. Sad times. Sad times. Anyway, any closing thoughts, guys, or anything else you want to bring?
I think I don't know. I guess my closing thoughts are for there are a lot of men in this community who think that just because they were born with a cock and balls that they deserve a woman who's going to be fit, feminine, friendly, submissive. That's not the case. You're not. Listen, man. Men are not entitled to women any more than women are entitled to men. Because we can all sit here and agree that all the hoes on Fresh and Fit don't really deserve shit except for a stiff dick and an Uber ride home, right? But if that's the case, you also have to understand that you can't be a loser at home living with your mom smoking weed all day, but then talking about you need a dime and I'm trying to have a bad bitch. It doesn't work that way. Only when you put yourself in the category to where you can be more selective can you actually verbalize this stuff. And it's good for guys to have aspirations, but I'm not trying to hear any dude talk about, well, I can't believe she wants a blah, 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 blah. Look, I totally agree, but what kind of man are you? Because here's the thing. I'm here to tell you. Listen, we can all bitch and moan about how far women have fallen. Guess what, man? Guys aren't too far behind. That's why the top 10, 15% of guys are smashing 80% of the chicks. Women can be losers and still get all the sausage and commitment they want. It might not be the commitment they need, high value men, but hey, man, being with a low value man is better than being alone. As far as a woman, well, I don't know. Well, let me ask you this. Is being alone better than being with a low-value guy, or would you guys rather have somebody than nobody? I don't know.
I would pick to be alone if that's the case.
Okay. What about...
I can't. It makes me... It's gross.
Wow.
You know, when I was a young lady, I used to always have this saying that I would rather be alone than unhappy.
Right.
And that's fine until you're alone and unhappy. I think people will put up with a low value guy just as a placeholder more often than not, rather than be alone.
Wow. Okay. Shows what I know.
So, I would like to say that relationship requirements, while women think they have them, they really don't. Relationship requirements are dictated by the man. So upon meeting someone new, having your lifestyle established, having your yeses and nos, your own self, what you are going to require from life. What do you require from the people you allow into your life?
Wow.
Whether they're friends, whether it's women, whether it's family as well. These expectations should be very similar. You don't have a bunch of friends who are losers, but, expect to hang out with them, and you're the only guy who's, like, winning at life. Like, you're going to be like, I need new friends. Like, these guys suck. So, by establishing what What are you okay with? What do you expect from a woman? And you just let her know ahead of time. The right woman will be like, yeah, that's great. I'm glad that you expect this of me. I'm going to go ahead and fulfill this. I am so relieved to be with a man who I know where I stand 24 hours a day. I know exactly what's expected of me. There are no surprises. If things change, we communicate. Things change, and we move along. But, it's not like he's making up rules for me as we go along just to see how I'll react, okay? This isn't a sadistic relationship.
Yeah.
However, I really feel like the requirements of a relationship are dictated by the man. And if the woman is quality and she sees value in that man, she is going to get in line. She's going to get with the program. And it's the same thing like I mentioned before when you're starting a new job. If you don't like the way things are done, you can talk to the management, petition to have things done a different way. If it doesn't work, you quit. You find another job. If you're unhappy somewhere, you go somewhere else. There is no reason to stay in a situation that makes you unhappy just so that you can say, okay, well, if I'm unhappy, I'm going to make him unhappy. And then next thing you know,
that's a good...
Yeah, and next thing you know, everybody is miserable, and you end up being a worse person at the end of the relationship. I strongly believe that relationships happen, and you take something from each one that you've been involved with, whether it's good or bad, that's up to you. But if you're living life of quality, of value, of substance, then you want to take what's good from those experiences and move on to the next thing. So regardless of who you're with, you want to leave as a better person than you were when you're coming into the relationship. I strongly feel that I am healthier, I am happier.
No, you are. I know you're healthier for sure. There's no feeling. Yeah, there's no feeling about that. But as far as your happiness is concerned, that's all you.
Yeah, and it's work, and it's tough, and it's worth it.
Yep, I agree. I actually have stay with me here, Tallulah and Devin. I actually have a suggestion from Keldor, a.k.a. Skeletor, in terms of the sex robot. Make him dishwasher safe. Would that make a difference?
Only if you turn him inside out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Dishwasher. Hold on. Dishwasher safe. Maybe you can throw it in the washing machine? I don't know. I think we can. I think we can work on that. But listen, all jokes aside, Devin is 100% right, man. The reason why, and this is what we're going to teach. We're actually going to be releasing a series of relationship courses. The first of which is Relationship Foundation Fundamentals. That comes out on September 1st. That's less than 2 weeks. That's actually exactly 2 weeks from today. And Devin and I, we have such a solid relationship, and it's funny, Tallulah. People who, and I'm actually now reading the comments. I can't believe I'm ever doing that. But the as Oilsberg says, the C9000 cleans itself. Oh boy, this is gonna get out of control. But what it really comes down to is that Devin and I, we work very, very, very hard to keep our relationship the way it needs to be. There have been subtle changes as we've gotten older for obvious reasons, but the mission has always stayed the same, and the mission is clear. Yes, I have a lot of expectations of Devin, but guess what? She's got expectations of me too, because she is not going to subject herself to my. Because I'm a maniac. I'm a fucking psychopath. I'm a high octane dude, and I'm just not the type of dude who ever lets up. Every once in a while, I'll have an off day like today with my plumbing stomach issues, but if I get to a point to where it's not worth it for her to do what she needs to do to stay in this relationship with me, if she's not getting those benefits, she can't stick around. There's no need putting in this kind of effort to be with a man who's just not worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the same token, it's the same with me too. I'm not going to continue to take care of her the way I do if she doesn't continue to make herself worth it. There are many things that are a two-way street, and we know that men and women are different, but one of the few things we have in common in a relationship sense is you both have to work at the relationship. there are way too many men and women who think that relationships should be easy, trust should be given, love should be no. Relationships are hard, and the reason why they're hard is because if you have a good one, it's absolutely worth it, just like Dev says. So yeah, there are some days where Devin makes me want to shoot myself in the face, and I'm sure that there are some days where I make Devin want to jump out the window. I get it, I understand it, but at the end of the day, we both know what we are working and fighting for. And dude, we love each other for it, and we want to give people a taste of what we have. We want to give people an opportunity to have what we have, because this is the best relationship I've ever been in. I don't know about Dev, but like I love being in this relationship. That could change at any time for any reason or no reason at all. But we've been in a great place for forever. And I'm comfortable enough in our relationship to the point where I can say, you know what? I can now start doing relationship courses, because it appears that we are probably going to be in this for the long haul. Oh,
Love
no.
it.
Oh, boy. I can't. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I can't read these robots. So all right, let's move on.
You'll have to do a stream like without any women there, you and your followers, about that subject.
About the sex robots. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, everyone go and check out Donovan's new course that will be starting at the beginning of September.
You know it.
Super, super exciting. And
yes.
Yeah, guys, thank you again for coming on. It's been great. And as always,